Hello, I'm Julia Fisher, here to teach you Playwriting 101. Today we'll be starting a 4-part series on structure, answering the question, how can I arrange the pieces of my play to keep my audience most engaged? So let's get started. Each video in this series will take one of the 4 main elements of structure and deep dive into it. But before we do that, let's take 30 seconds to review the basic dramatic structure. So hopefully you've seen a picture like this before, maybe in your middle school language arts class. A quick disclaimer. This is not the only type of structure that exists, and many wonderful plays and novels don't follow a structure at all, but this is one of the most common and easy to use structures. So we're going to start here. First, we start with our inciting incident. This is the spark, the moment that starts off the whole play, something that changes the world of your character and calls them to action. Then we move through the rising action of your play as the conflict grows and becomes more intense. Things are happening, your characters can't go back. And then we get to the climax of your play, which is when your protagonist makes some decision to engage in their final battle against their antagonist, whether that's another person, society, the environment, or maybe even themselves. And then at the very end, we have catharsis, which is where we see what happens to the characters after the climax, and we get a chance to breathe. Today, we're going to explore the inciting incident. The inciting incident may also be called the disturbance or the call to adventure. No matter what you call it, the inciting incident is a moment that changes the world of your character, and it calls them to action. The inciting incident should answer the question, why today? Why is today different? If the action of your play could just as easily happen a week before or the next day, then something is wrong with the timing of your play, and the audience will feel a little cheated. So the inciting incident is answering that question, why today? Why is today the day that your play needs to be? Here are some examples of potential inciting incidents. Your character has just received an acceptance letter to their dream college or a new job. Your character is returning home after a long time away, or a stranger has just moved to town. Your character just ran into someone from their past. There's a big event tonight that your character wants to go to. Your character has just learned a secret or a big piece of news. Someone your character loves is moving away tomorrow. Your characters are in a burning building. Your character is about to get onto a plane. Your character has just been diagnosed with a terminal illness. Your character just lost their job. The inciting incident should happen within the first 10% of your play to keep the audience engaged. So if you're writing a 10-page play, the inciting incident should happen on the very first page, or maybe even before the play even starts. If you're writing a full-length play, then your inciting incident should usually take place within the first 10 to 20 pages of your play. If you're having trouble figuring out what your inciting incident should be, then it might mean you need to take a second to make sure you know what the climax of your play is going to be. And if you're like, whoa, wait, don't I just figure that out at the end of the play? Then you might want to go watch my video on structure climax. Before we end, let's return to our question from the beginning. How do I arrange the pieces of my play to keep my audience most engaged? And our answer for today, have an exciting, inciting incident within the first 10% of your play, and that will keep your audience engaged. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time, and happy writing.